You do have to move through the density to get to the light, but it's just like you said, there's beautiful moments. It's like duality. Two things can be true. You can be moving through such deep grief, but then also have the beauty that's there.
Mhm.
And I just feel like so many people are stripping away the masks that they have created to survive up until this point. Now you're realizing that you want to be more authentic. You're learning, like, oh, healing is possible. It's safe for me to take off these masks that I didn't even know that I was wearing. Welcome to the Multiple Truths podcast. We're your hosts, Holly
And Brittany. This is a space where we can come together healing in community, where we share our self-love journeys, insights, and wisdom.
A space with no hierarchy or judgment, fostering love, compassion, and respect, and where we honor our differences. With open minds and hearts, everyone's truth is welcome here. We are in this together. Let's dive into the episode.
Merry Christmas!
Hopefully that was in unison for you guys. Merry Christmas. We hope you guys are having such a beautiful day, beautiful celebrations with your families. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you're just having a beautiful day. And yeah, Brittany and I are doing an episode together today, and we're just kind of gonna go into reflecting on this past year, going into the new year. What are our goals? What are we thinking? I think Brittany's going to do a little mini reading too. So yeah, we're just going to see where this episode takes us.
You guys, do you know how many times we had to say Merry Christmas to get it in unison? It probably sounded so awkward too.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. We wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, but we're not together. So it's harder
Yeah.
to make sure the screens are together and the audios are
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, we literally took that like 5 times. Anyways, the Merry Christmas. I can't believe for us, it's November 17th, so for us, there's still about a month, just over a month away, but when this airs,
Mhm.
it's Christmas Eve. Oh my goodness, I can't believe a whole other year is coming to an end. Like, it's
I
crazy.
know. Yeah, this year has flown by. It's just so I just feel like as you get older, the years go faster and faster and faster.
It
It's
really
just
does.
crazy to me.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I wonder it's crazy. I wonder why that is. I'm sure we can get into so many different theories about that, but yeah,
Yeah.
this year, man, just reflecting on this past year, what a year. I remember Holly reminded me, I did a reading last year for the podcast,
Mhm.
and the tower came out. Essentially, a lot of the energy was indicating that it was going to be a tough year for a lot of people. So if you made it to the end and it was, one of those years for you, congratulations, you did it. Like, I want to
Yeah.
say you did it. The
Oh,
world is
yeah.
quite heavy right now, and we're not going to get too heavy today because, we want to keep it light and fun for the season. Um,
Mhm.
but it is heavy in the world right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you had a tough year, and just know that it's so worth celebrating. I feel like a lot of like heaviness also comes to surface this time of the year, and I think it's just so important, I even want to say self-criticism, right? And it's just so important to take the time to really celebrate yourself, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and I think, like, intentionally take time to reflect on the year, because I think
Mhm.
so many things we just are moving so fast. There's so many things that we're doing all of the time. And even before this episode started, I actually, like, took my phone out and I looked back at all the photos taken from this year, because I'm like, I feel like, yeah, we just move so fast. It's hard to remember everything that we do in a year. But I think taking that time intentionally to look at what you've done, look at what the trips that you took, the milestones that you hit, the friendships that you gained, just all of the good stuff, like really taking time and the hardship too, what you overcame,
Mhm.
and celebrating that, and just taking time to intentionally look back on the year. I think that's so beautiful and helping us really, like, stay in the present moment and, like, see how much can change in a year even though it goes
Mhm.
by so fast.
Yeah, 100%. It's just crazy. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to look back at all my photos, and because even right now, as I'm reflecting on the year, it's like, oh my God, that happened and that happened and that happened. And I moved through this. And really, as Holly said, being intentional about it. I feel like can be really emotional too, and it's so easy to
Mhm.
criticize and focus on how I'm going to be better for next year.
Mhm.
Coming up on the new year, a lot of us have all of our New Year's resolutions and all of this. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to set a goal for yourself, right? But I think it's also important to really look at how far you've come as opposed to just focusing on how you can improve. Again, not that there's wrong with wanting to improve yourself, but I think sometimes we focus too heavily on that and we don't actually recognize our own growth.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And I find too, it's like I remember setting some goals for this year, but I feel like the years look so different than what you think they're going to be. Like this year
Mhm.
looked so different than what I had imagined. Like I couldn't have predicted anything that happened this year. And nothing really went to plan, like it was
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
and not in the most beautiful way. It's like
Mhm.
I feel so ignited after this year in a way that
Mhm.
I never have before. I feel more in my power this year than I ever have before, but it's because this year looked nothing like what I thought it was going to look like. And I
Mhm.
needed to really surrender and trust myself and use my voice and all of that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
it's nothing of what I thought. And I think we can get caught up in, the New Year's resolutions and thinking
Mhm.
about our goals and what we want and like the amount of money we want to make and the status we want to have and if we want to get engaged and have children and all those kinds of things. And it's beautiful to have those things, but I think it's so important to just like look back and see what this year was, even if you didn't do the things that you had intentionally set, like the goals that you
Mhm.
set, like that's okay. It was exactly what it was
Mhm.
supposed to be, you know?
Yeah. And I think that's really important too. There's a piece I want to touch on that how you said it didn't happen how you thought it would. I mean, it never does, right? And we all know this, right?
Hmm.
But I think it's important too to really leave space for what's meant to happen because when we're heading into any and this is any season of life, right? It comes up a lot during this time of year, right? Because we have all of the resolutions and this and that. But often our resolutions I feel are control based. It's like wanting to control what this next year is going to look like. And like Holly said, it never ends up the way you think it's going to end up. So if you're focusing on all of this and if you're focusing all of your energy on what you think you want the year to look like, you're pouring all of your energy into, I don't want to say empty space, of course, depending on what exactly the resolutions and goals are. But it's like if you're pouring all of your energy into trying to control what this next year is going to look like, that can be so exhausting, especially when that's not what is actually in store for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, what's coming to mind too is like it's almost manifestation in a way, but we don't
Yeah.
realize that most of the time when we're trying to like manifest, it's coming from an egoic place. It's not necessarily coming from like what's for our greatest and highest good. So it's like we
Yeah.
might be setting these goals that are more ego based, but aren't
Yeah.
actually for our greatest and highest good and wanting to hit those.
Yeah. I literally made a video about that 2 days ago, and it's a whole lesson on my course. 3 lessons actually. No, more than that because we talk about the ego. I have a whole module on the ego and a whole module on manifestation also, but it's exactly that too. And I want to say the ego is not. It doesn't always mean like because I feel like people hear ego and they think, oh yeah, manifesting luxury things, and the ego is so much more subtle than that. It's not
Hmm.
only trying to manifest luxury items X, Y, and Z. The ego can show up in more subtle of a way as well, if that makes sense. Like even if like your heart is in the right space, it's like, for example, if you're trying to manifest love, for example, like trying to manifest love in your life, are you manifesting it from a pure place or are you manifesting it from a place of needing external validation, right? That's your ego. There's nothing wrong with having the desire, right? You can have the desire for love, but if you're trying to force anything into your life, that's control. It's coming from fear, which is ego. You know what I mean? As opposed to
Hmm.
surrendering and focusing on the here and the now, because by focusing on the here and the now, focusing on the present moment, that's where true alignment can happen. And that's the key to manifestation. A lot of people in the spiritual community have it backwards. It's like, okay, what do I want to manifest into my life? What do I want to bring in? That right there is control because you're trying to control what the future is going to look like. When you focus on the present moment and then take action based on inspiration that comes in the present, that's how you enter alignment And that's how you'll actually manifest and create a life that is fulfilling for your soul. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? I could go
Mhm.
on about I could go like I said, I have, like it's all in my course, I could go on and on about that. But I think too, like ego, people mistake the ego. They think like, "Oh, wanting to manifest love is not egoic, right? It's a desire. We all have that desire." But it's yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's not as
Yeah.
it's complicated.
This I saw this and it gave me full body chills because again, when we have, when we want to manifest our dream life, not that there's anything wrong with that either, but I think we become so individualistic, like we are
Mhm,
only really focusing on ourselves and what we want to create for ourselves when we are all one. We've all got to take
mhm,
care of one another. And this year was a year of crumbling of illusions, crumbling of so much, and so much destruction has happened. And this one woman posted, humanity is crumbling, and you want to know what you can do? You can heal. And then you can step into your personal power and medicine to hold space for others to do the same. You can use your voice for good, advocate for what is just. We are not helpless. We are being called inwards to step into a way of being that benefits all humanity, not just the self, because we do not have space anymore for manifesting your dream life. Now it's save the children and protect Mother Earth. And maybe it's always been this way, and we're finally realizing.
I love that. Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
I have chills. Oh, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've become like, and again, not that there's anything wrong, like of course you can have goals and you want to be successful and whatever it may be, and you can manifest, but I think we've just, as a society as a whole, we have forgotten one another, and we are so focused on manifesting what we want, but it's like
Yeah.
we need to care about one another again.
Yeah.
And we need to protect the children, we need to make it a safer world for everyone, and
Mhm.
so Earth can even continue, like there can be a place
Yeah.
where Earth can even not continue if we
Yeah.
keep disrespecting it in this way.
Yeah.
Hello, my loves. Before we dive into the rest of the episode, I have a quick message I want to share with you. As we head into the new year, I know there's so much pressure to set those weight loss goals or to jump into a new diet or try a new fat loss supplement. And I truly understand wanting to feel good in your body. Trust me, I struggled with my body image for years, constantly trying to shrink my body. But I'm asking you, please do not waste your time or money on another diet or weight loss supplement that is only going to keep you stuck in the same toxic cycles and disconnected from yourself. Because all of the diets, supplements, promise quick fixes that are marketed at literally every corner that you look are missing the most crucial piece of actually creating long lasting change with food and your body, which is truly understanding the root of how your relationship with food, your body, and yourself came to be. Without getting to the root and understanding it, nothing will ever stick. You'll keep falling into the same patterns with food. And not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're not addressing the root issue, the root cause. Because I'm sure that no one ever taught you why you turn to certain foods when you're feeling uncomfortable and needing comfort. That there is actually an emotion that is present that is needing to come forward and be felt, but you are suppressing with food because that is how your body and mind have found to protect you from feeling pain again. And I'm sure no one taught you the wisdom behind your cravings and what they are trying to communicate with you. And you take your power back by truly learning how to feel your emotions instead of feeding the emotions, and learning how to have more compassion and love and understanding for yourself. So, if you struggle with restricting, binging, emotional eating, body dysmorphia, or just simply want to feel more confident and safe in your body again, I created the Journey Back Home to Self program specifically for you. It's the program that I wish that I had during my darkest years of struggling. And I've poured everything that I've learned from my own healing journey and the information learned through my training at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, where I became a certified holistic health coach. It's a 3-month self paced online program created with such deep intention to guide you on your healing journey, to help you understand yourself, your patterns, your needs, your insecurities, and the younger parts within you that are so desperately calling out for your attention, that need you to remind them that they are enough and that their worth has nothing to do with what they look like. Inside the program, you will get weekly videos from me. We create realistic routines specifically for you to help you break those toxic cycles. And I teach you tools to really help you rebuild that trust within yourself and come more home to your body, to your mind, to your heart, to your spirit. And this isn't a quick fix, it's real healing, it's long lasting change. So, if you are ready to finally get to the root and truly heal and transform your relationship with yourself, your body, and food, this program is specifically for you. The cycle gets to end with you. And through January, I'm offering it at a discounted rate of only $222 to support you in getting started because I want it to get into the hands of as many people as it possibly can. So, if you feel called, I really hope you answer that call and you can click the link in the show notes to learn more. So I think there's just I saw that and I was just like, this year has been like, we need to see each other as one again and
Yeah.
humanity and caring about one another.
Mhm.
And I just think that's so beautiful. I just wanted to read that.
No, I love that, and that's the thing too, it's like manifesting your dream life. That is backwards, like, that is backwards, period, because you are manifesting right now, like, I'm manifesting in this moment, Holly's manifesting in this moment, you listening are manifesting in this moment. So if you're trying to manifest your dream life, you're misaligned because you're trying. You know, how do you actually manifest? It's living your life right here, right now by doing the healing work, because when you heal, you lift your vibration, and this is not by, oh, just having a positive mindset all the time. How does healing equate to lifting your vibration? If you think about it, it's letting go of that energetic weight that has been weighing on you and holding you down. When you heal, you're releasing that energetic weight. Therefore, you become energetically lighter. You are raising your vibration. And that is magnetic. That's what's going to align you with your most fulfilling life. Not that you're trying to do so. And often on the healing journey, when you really start to heal, you see the injustices in the world, and that's what your focus is going to be, right? Is humanity, is caring for other people. So yeah, anyways, I can go on about
Well,
manifestation. It's just,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Go
I
go.
think I think too what you're saying about like when you heal, you then see the injustices and you speak about it. And it's I feel like what I'm realizing is what I am wanting to manifest now and what has been like my broad goal for so long for since my first medium reading or my first psychic reading with this guy. He told me I need to dream big, and the first thing I thought was wanting to open centers for people.
Mhm.
It's like you realize that when you really step into your true authentic self, who you truly are,
Mhm.
most of the time your manifestations are wanting to help humanity, are
Yeah.
wanting to contribute to help, and
Yeah.
not just wanting the mansion, wanting the vacation homes,
Yeah.
wanting all these material items, because you understand on the healing journey, those things are all external validation. Those are all
Yeah.
things that are egoic. Not that they're bad things. You can
No.
have those things and be in alignment, and you deserve that too. But I find that when you really heal, most of the things that you're wanting for yourself and for others is something to contribute to the world. Like it
Oh,
just is.
yeah, 100%, because all of those material things, right? It's not actually fulfilling. What we're all seeking is fulfillment, right? And we think, because of the world we live in, the very material world that we live in, a lot of us think, not our fault, right? We have this subconscious belief that these material things are going to fill us, fill that void that's within us. And when you really heal, you realize that nothing outside of you can fill that void from within you, right? So as you continue on this path, you really start you those desires fall away because you now realize that's not actually what you're seeking. Going back
Mhm.
to a lot of people, when they try to manifest, they manifest from an egoic place without even realizing it, right? And it's all about control, X, Y, and Z. One thing I want to add to that too is it's important to really, it's important to take care of yourself as well,
Mhm.
really, to
Mhm.
take care of yourself. But that ties in with the healing, right? It's like, first you do need
Right.
to focus on you, not in an egoic way, but in a healing way. And that way, as the quote said, right, you have the ability to actually show up in the way we need you to show up in this world, the
Mhm.
way our future generations need you to show up in this world, you know? Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And I feel like I want to talk about buzzwords. Like, there's so many buzzwords in the healing and spiritual community, and I feel like there's just like a lack of embodiment of these things as well. I feel like there's a lot more work than we realize, you know?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, absolutely. This is just the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah.
like, it just really is, but, something too with that is I feel like you understand when you heal, and this is also so much what we see in Harry Potter and all the
Mhm,
ones that are really fighting the dark, is you find that, like, connection, friendship, love, that's
mhm,
fulfilling,
mhm,
and
mhm.
this quote keeps coming to mind when Harry is defeating Voldemort. If you guys watch this movie, I love this whole series. But he said to Voldemort, he feels sorry for him because he will never know love. He will never know friendship. And it's Voldemort is the depiction of the darkness of, wanting power, greed, wanting control, wanting people to follow him, kind of what we're seeing in our world right now. It's like the dark forces, nothing to fear, but there's dark forces, but it's because they're so wounded and they think that power and money and
Mhm,
all of these things are going to make them whole and happy. But
mhm,
when you're really learn how to love yourself and heal and come more home to yourself, you realize like, oh no, like love and connection and caring about one another and being together, that's what we're here for. That's what's
mhm,
fulfilling. That's what's
mhm.
love. Like that's what we need.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just keeps coming to mind. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love Harry Potter. Now I'm like, should I binge watch Harry Potter?
Oh, do it. Oh my god, that's always what I used to watch when I was sick, and it just it's so comforting. It's so good.
Oh, I love that. Oh, side note, just talking about binging TV and movies and stuff. So I've been sick. You guys might be able to hear it. Um, I am feeling better. I was feeling good enough to film this episode. And anyways, I've been binging movies this last
Mhm,
week because I've had no energy to to do anything else. And there were some really good movies that I watched actually. Yeah, a couple on Netflix I actually really enjoyed. But I a lot of the movies that I've been watching are like old rom-coms or just like movies from when, Holly and I were growing up. And oh my gosh, like watching these movies with a new lens, I just really see how programmed we are as women to center men in our lives. Like these movies,
mhm,
rewatching them now with this whole new lens, yeah, sure, they're funny and whatever, but they're all about centering a man in your life and how your worth is based on male validation. And
mhm,
it's just something that I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so harmful for youth to be consuming this," and that's always consumed, right? And that's like a whole
mhm,
other conversation, but, talking about movies and films, I was like, "Oh my gosh," like and I'm not one to watch movies very often, like, normally I don't watch much TV, but now that, it's darker at night, plus being sick, I've been watching a little bit more, and being sick, I watched a bunch of them, and I was just I don't know, it's just something I needed to
mhm,
say, like, it's crazy how in your face it is.
mhm.
Anyways, I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, totally, and that's what we're watching at such a young age when our brains are still forming and we're forming who we are, so then it's like that's what we feel like success is when we have the partner, when we have that validation, when this is where I feel like we need strong women. We
Yeah,
need women in their power, and that's what I feel like so many women collectively are doing is reclaiming their power because we need examples for the
yeah.
youth, for these next generations, and there's always a song that comes on when I'm, like, running or walking and it's like we are the ancestors of our great granddaughters and sons,
Mm,
and it's
mhm,
like as we as women reclaim our voices and don't place our self-worth on our relationship status or what we look like, what our body looks like, all of those things, it's like these are the examples that we're going to be giving to the youth, which is
mhm.
beautiful and needed and necessary because there's just so much distortion out there right now. So yeah, I mean, I totally hear you with the movies.
Sorry, I
I
just
hear you
needed a sip of
drinking.
water really quick, I'm like, "Uh-oh, I'm about to" um No, but yeah, and I know what song you're talking about.
It's so
Ooh, it
good.
gives me
Yeah,
chills just thinking
I
about it, but
know.
yeah, such a beautiful song, and
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, and it's interesting too. This is kind of going all over the place here, but what's also coming to mind, I made a post. I'm gonna read what I wrote, actually. I posted it this morning. I posted it this morning on my Instagram. Ah, sorry. Hold on. I was accidentally opening up TikTok. I'm like, "Why isn't it here? Why are there only videos playing?" I'm like, "Wrong app, Brittany." Okay. Um, And this, I feel like I'm thinking of this because, you talking about we are the ancestors of our great granddaughters and sons, like it is up
Mhm.
to us to, yeah, make change to, anyways. I wrote, I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of not living my life to the fullest. I'm afraid of letting fear get in the way of my highest potential. I'm afraid of letting my ego prevent me from experiencing what my soul came here to experience. I'm afraid of working my life away and letting the beauty of the mundane pass me by. I'm afraid of missing the opportunity to express my love to those who mean the most to me. I'm not afraid of death. I'm afraid of being asleep in a world where I'm supposed to be experiencing life. And, I could have went on and on and on with this, but I
Mhm.
think, just speaking to what we're talking about too, it's like we came here to make change. We came
Mhm.
here to make change, and I think that, yeah, we need strong women, like you were saying, to,
Mhm.
like, step into the role that we came here for, if that even makes sense,
Mhm.
and not let
Yeah.
fear stop us, and, hey, we all are where we're supposed to be working at the pace that, we're working, but it's so easy to get distracted in this world by things that are not important, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful. And yeah, it's not letting ourselves be stuck in fear and like doing what we came here to do and living our lives and expressing ourselves and
Mhm.
expressing love to the people that we love and helping people feel seen and heard and all of that kind of stuff. It's, yeah, we are the change makers. So many of us chose to come down here at this time. I really
Mhm.
feel to help with this shift, help restore humanity,
Yeah.
and it needs to so desperately shift. And so we are the change. So yeah, and I just, like you said, with all of the distractions, I just want to say, even as going into the new year, I feel like, you know, how people set resolutions and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One that I have set for myself, which I recommend anyone listening do for yourself as well, because I've experienced a lot better sleeps because of this. And also just like mentally, I feel so much better. Setting limits on your screen time and like
Mhm.
social media apps, because there is so much noise out there. There is so much misinformation out there that is
Mhm.
causing fear and harm. And there's just so much junk. And I feel like we are just consuming, 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 consuming. We are just, there's so much consumption and then buying and then getting stuck in fear and worry and all of that kind of stuff. And I just really feel I encourage you, if you're wanting a resolution or wanting to do something that can really impact your life, like I encourage you to limit your screen time and like put your phone away even by like 6 o'clock, or just like limit yourself to an hour on the apps. Even for me, I'm like, I will post, but I do not let myself scroll anymore. I'm just like,
Mhm.
I cannot, it's not good for my mental health. And what I've been doing instead is reading. So, too, if you want to do something also good for your mental health, like picking up books, and I know you read this too,
Mhm.
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah.
That was such a good series. So if you need a good book series and you have not read A Court of Thorns and Roses, I highly recommend reading that, because I read that whole series this year.
You read it so fast. I actually
Yeah.
have I only read the first 3 books,
Okay.
and I've actually, it's funny you bring it up because I'm like, maybe it's time for me to, like, pick it up and finish it, but I started reading it before Holly, and I remember telling Holly, I'm like, "Holly, you gotta read this, like, Holly, you gotta read it." And Holly's like, "Yeah, like, maybe, like, not super buying it at first." And I went through the first 3 books right away, and then I think you got sick or something, Holly, and you were like, "Maybe I'll,"
Yeah.
and you were looking for something else
Mhm.
to read, and
Mhm.
then boom, Holly read all 5 books
All
so
5 books.
fast.
And then I became obsessed with Sarah J. Maas, the author, because
Mm,
'cause I'm like,
mhm,
"Oh my
mhm.
god, she's such a good writer." That series gave me so much joy this year. And then so I picked up her next series. I think the first series that she wrote, it's called A Glass, or it's, what is it? Throne of Glass, I think.
I'm not
Thorn
sure. Something like
Thro
that.
Throne of Glass, something like that is her series, where it's 8 books,
Mhm.
and I literally just finished the 8th book last night.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I have read so much this
You
year.
little bookworm.
I know, and it's bringing me so much joy. I'm like, "Oh my god, I love this." Rather than feeling like shit after scrolling on my phone, these books give me so much life, and they teach you, these books specifically have taught me so much about leadership. Like,
Mm,
even though it's like not there, it's like
mhm.
fantasy, there's so many channeled messages in there.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, especially around like they were fighting the Volg demons in this last series that I read, which is like the darkness, which I feel like is so symbolic. And it's just like hope was the answer, and the
Mhm.
healers were the answer to face the
Mhm.
darkness. And just the women were the
Mhm.
queens and the ones that were really leading, and the men were strong men listening and also doing their part. And it was just, there's so much lessons in there
Mm.
and learning. So if you need a good book series, look into Sarah J. Mass, I think is how you say
Mhm.
her last name, but they're just so good. They're so good. So thank you for introducing me to those.
No, yeah, no, they're so good, and my friend Michaela, Holly, you know Michaela, was the one who
Yeah.
introduced them to me too. She's like, "Brittany, you should read it. I think you'd like it." And I was like, "Yeah, we'll see." And then I was like, "Do you know what? Okay, let's just do it." So, but it's so good, and I think the 4th book, I don't know, I just, like, couldn't. It's a little slower. I've read the first chapter, like, 5 times because I keep, like, trying to get into it, and I just haven't. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I've been thinking about it again, especially this time of year. Like for me, I like reading, but I'm not like an all the time reader. For one, I have to be into the book. And I think during the summers and stuff, it's harder for me to like really read. I think it's like
Yeah.
this time of the year when it's like darker at night, I'm like more cozy and comfy. So I'm like, okay, Brittany, it is time to pull the book back out, finish the series because I know I'm going to love it. I know once I get into it, I'm going to love it. And
Yeah.
anyways.
She's coming out with another book
Oh,
too.
like a
You know
whole
how it
series
ends.
or oh, wait, in
Just
Akatar?
no, one more book for A Court of Thorns and Roses
Yes,
because it
okay.
ends and
That's
she's coming out.
ACOTAR. That's what
Oh,
people
is it
call ACOTAR.
ACOTAR?
It's like the
Okay.
A
I cannot wait. I'm so excited. When I
Woo!
tell you, I was, like, grieving when the series was done because I was so invested. It's
Okay.
so good.
Oh, okay, I'm
Oh my god.
excited. That makes me
Yeah.
excited. Maybe that's
And
also
it
why I'm like, I can't finish the series because once it's done, you know?
yeah, that's why I had to go to her next series because 'cause I'm like, "I
Uh-huh.
can't be done with this." I
Uh,
love it. And also, if you I feel like it was like, planted in my life and maybe your life too, I don't know, but there's just so many, beautiful messages around sexuality in there too.
yeah.
Like they actually like have really beautiful sex scenes in there, which you wouldn't really think for a book, but I'm like, oh, she's like teaching people what a real healthy relationship, real
Mhm.
healthy sexuality should look like. And
Mhm.
I'm just like over here, oh my God, I
Ooh.
can't believe what's good. Like it's just I was like laughing through the whole thing because I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like witnessing this because it was so beautiful. But I'm like, it was so good. So if you need to spice up your life as well, those books are just so
Mhm.
good.
I want them to make a movie from that one
Yeah.
day. It's so good, you guys. Like yeah, and I'm the type of person where I'm not reading all the time. So like for me to like really get into a series and yeah, it's good, I guess is my point with that. It's like it's really
Yeah.
good.
Same, because I would and you probably were too, like, I was kind of stuck in the space of reading self-help books,
Mhm.
and I was like, "I can't read another one, I've done so much healing, I, like, need
Yeah.
something light
Fun.
and fun," and
Yes.
this is, like, learning in a different way. It's,
Yeah.
like, learning through
Woo.
yeah, it's just so good. It's
I'm
so good.
I'm
So, if you
literally
need a
like
break,
I'm like, "Do you know what? I think I'm gonna pick it up tonight." And my book is literally sitting right there. It's been sitting out for anyways, we get
you
it.
should.
We get
I
it.
love it.
Maybe enough of the book talk for those that are like, "Okay, we get it. You like the book, move on." But something that I wanna say that's coming to mind, and this is just again, this this podcast is all over the place, but that's the way we like it, right? Fun chats. Anyways, um, I was thinking of the podcast we recorded last year around this time. If you haven't listened to it, I invite you to go listen to our podcast that we posted right before New Year's last year because we talk about, New Year's resolutions, how I think we had like a really good conversation. Do you remember?
Yeah, we did, and talking about, like, there's so much weight loss goals, and it's, like, focusing on how you wanna feel and all of that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. We'll have that episode linked in the show notes below, so
Okay.
if you wanna listen to it, definitely listen to that. Because yeah, we dive way more deeper into all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think those things are really important to talk about too. And a part of me is like,
yeah,
do I bring it up? And I'm like, well, we had a whole conversation about it already. So if you haven't listened to it, I invite you to. Obviously, only if you feel called. And hey, maybe you want to re-listen to it because it's tough. And, this time of the year with, talking about weight without getting like super, without getting super into detail. I saw your post that you made, Holly, yesterday. Because Holly and I share an Instagram for the multiple truths for the podcast. And I went over onto the multiple truths and I saw your post like through that account on body
mhm,
image. And I
mhm.
was like, oh, it was just such a beautiful reminder, such a beautiful post, because personally right now, like I talked about this in the last video, in the last podcast Holly and I recorded. We only recorded it last week, but it's coming out like weeks apart. But so for me, this is all happening in this current period, but it's like going through those like body image issues, not issues, because you know
Mhm.
what I mean, but it comes and goes in waves, right? And coming
Right.
back from Europe, I'm sitting a little heavier, especially this last week. I have not moved from the couch because I've been so sick, but I've been
Mhm.
eating. So I've
Mhm.
just have been, and hey, I've been really proud of how I'm good, like, compared to how I used to handle it, I've come a long way, but my point with
Mhm.
that is it's important to just, like, be gentle with yourself, especially during this period, because I know a lot of us do gain a couple extra pounds during the holiday season, and it's just knowing that your worth is not based on what your body looks like. And also, I'm just trying to remember, like, how I feel, and I'm like, I actually feel quite good in my body. It's like I haven't been having digestive issues, but it's that, we associate our worth and whatever based on how we look physically because of the damn world that we grew up in, and so many women face this and we just critique ourselves. So, just like a nice little friendly reminder to be gentle with yourself
Mhm.
and your body, and just remembering that your body is a gift. Like, and you said this on your post, but this is how I like to frame it in my own mind too. It's like, what a gift, what a gift that I've been
Mhm.
given to have this experience. Like, my body is such a gift, it's like, thank you. And it's also reminding myself, like, yeah, I'm sitting a little heavier right now. I mean, I haven't weighed myself in a very long time, so I don't actually know like what my weight is, but you feel it, how your clothes fit and stuff. But it's like, so what? Like, why do I associate within myself that with like, feeling off? Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, because it's so deeply ingrained that we
Yeah.
need to look a certain way in order
Yeah.
to be good enough. And
Yeah.
it's just, we need to, as women and men too, but we need to realize that this is so deeply ingrained. Like, the weight loss industry is a $1 billion industry. It's a $1 billion industry. And even I don't subscribe to any of these emails. I don't know how the hell they have my email. The amount of Ozempic emails I have gotten this year, and I am
Really?
like, "Oh my god." And then Eric and I were watching TV, and Serena Williams, the tennis player who's like built, like really strong body. She was just promoting a weight loss supplement. And I'm like, "Oh my God. Like, can we
Stop.
see the problem? Can
Yeah.
we see the issue? Like, it's at everything that we look, every corner. Lose
Ugh.
weight, lose weight, lose weight, lose weight." And it's like that doesn't even help you get to the like none of that stuff is going to work because you're not even addressing the root issue
Yeah.
of how your relationship with yourself, your body, and food came to be,
Yeah.
period. And like the little girls within you that feel like they need to look a certain way to be worthy of love and to finally be enough. And
Ugh.
it's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And it makes me so angry. And I'm like,
Yeah.
people need to truly heal. It's not
Mhm.
about like the weight.
Yeah.
It's about feeling good in your body. And how do you do
Yeah.
that? You learn to like appreciate and love your body and understand where your relationship with food and your body came to be, why you feel the way that you
Yeah.
do about
Yeah.
your body, and truly heal, because
Yeah. And
it's at every corner.
the body image, and it goes back, I think I mentioned it in the last video, a renaissance body.
Yeah.
Like Renaissance body. If you listen to the last episode, I mentioned Renaissance body was coming through because I'm a little fuller right now. And being 5 foot, like I'm very short. So even if I were to gain, let's say 5 pounds, you see it on me because I'm so short. Whereas, someone taller, you wouldn't notice it as much just because of the length, right? So for me, it's like there's no hiding it, which it doesn't matter though. You know what I mean? I'm like, I should be embracing the Renaissance body. And it just made me think, like, I was really thinking last night, and I was just like really thinking about it, and just like how I'm like, it's so dumb how we're wired, because it's a deep rooted programming, right? That's been also passed down. It's like
Mhm.
we're wired to see a certain body type and say that's the body type that you should look like. Like, that's the body type right there. And that will change slightly depending on where you were raised, in the world, X, Y, and Z, right? Because it does differ depending on exactly where you are in the world and who raised you and whatever. But it's like we have it ingrained in us that it's like we have idealized like certain body types, and it's so sick. Like it is sick. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
mean that in a, like an illness sort of a way, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
like, it's
it's
like a
sick.
cancer. It's
Yeah,
a cancer.
it's sick because it's not true. It's not
Right.
true, and it's like I have chills as I'm saying this, and I was just really, like, thinking about that, and it's like, of course, we already know this, and I was thinking about this, and I'm like, all that matters is that I'm genuinely healthy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, that I'm healthy and it's not impeding my life, my ability to live my life. Like, if, for example, I'm unhealthy and let's say losing some weight would make me more healthy, that's one thing, you know what I mean? But if I've gained some pounds and whatever and I'm still healthy, who cares physically what that looks like on the outside, because we are sick in the minds, you know, and I don't mean this in like a bad way, but majority of us as a collective are sick in the minds when it comes
Mhm.
to body image, because we've been programmed to look at a certain body type and think that is the ideal. So it's like
Mhm.
really seeing it as like a sickness, you know what I mean? And most of us have been programmed with this sickness within us. You know, I'm trying to find like the right words. You get what I'm saying? And that was another thing. I watched another, and this makes me sad. Another one of those rom coms that I saw last night. I forget what it was called, but I was just like, oh my God, because it was like, I don't want to say like hating on like people who are bigger, but it was terrible in the sense of like it was again perpetuating that's like the beautiful women they portrayed were all stick thin, and then the
Mhm.
unattractive women that they portrayed were, majority of them were bigger, or if they were not bigger they had like crooked teeth and like an unibrow, and do you know what I mean? It's like they really were showcasing like what beauty, quote unquote beauty, looks like, and they were just pushing this narrative of like stick thin, and I'm like, oh. Anyways, just all of these
Yeah.
movies, you guys, that I watched this last week. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, it's so dangerous. And we need to understand too, like, this starts from such a young age. That's why
Yeah.
inner child, inner teenage work is so incredibly important, because these are the years where your brain and sense of self is forming. And if you are surrounded by, not maybe your family, the women in your family were constantly saying, I'm fat, I'm gross, I'm on constantly on a diet, monitoring what is in the house, that is going to have an imprint on your growing self. And then also we look out in the media, all of the singers, all of the people that are in the shows that we watch are stick thin, ingraining, oh, thin equals enough. Thin equals worthy. I need to be that way in order to be worthy of love. And it's so deeply ingrained in our society and starts from these young ages and can even start in the womb space. And
Mhm.
how your mom, how your aunts, how your cousins, how all of the women in your family talked about their bodies and themselves.
Mhm.
If it was normal in your home to be like always on a diet, or oh, we can't have that, or ew, I feel so gross, or don't take a picture of me, I look so fat, I'm gross, like that is the conditioning that you learned as a developing self. So therefore that feels normal to you.
Yeah.
That is not normal.
Mm.
We are meant to learn how to love and appreciate and honor
Mhm.
our bodies.
Mhm.
And that's where it's like, that's why I'm so passionate about
Mhm.
learning how to come home to yourself and your heart, and the Journey Back Home to Self program I created, and the inner child and inner teenager is so needed to break these fucking cycles that are sick. It's a
Yeah.
cancer. It is a cancer that is hurting so many women specifically, and
Mhm.
young girls, that is going to lead to more and more eating disorders. And it's like,
Mhm.
this is why we need to end the cycle. We need to stop. We need to stop buying into the
Mhm.
fucking diets and the weight loss pills that, what are they selling? Oh, a quick
Mhm.
fix. You need to lose weight, then you'll be happy.
Mhm.
No, they don't
Mhm.
work, because you're not even getting to the root. So you're just staying stuck in that toxic cycle, needing stuff outside of yourself
Mhm.
to make you feel thin. It's those things never work.
No.
So I'm just, oh, it's like
Yes.
makes me so angry. It makes me
Preach.
so
Preach.
angry.
Something that I wanna say too is, like, thin doesn't always equal healthy. And
Absolutely.
I know before I said something like, you know, if it's one thing if you're losing weight for your health. Also, sometimes you need to gain weight for your health, you know, and I feel
Mhm.
like people fear that as well, you know, like there's people that make themselves so slim, and then, you know, what's best for their health is to gain weight, but they're afraid to. Anyways,
Mm,
we could talk about this for hours. We've done conversations about
yeah,
like body image and stuff before. Maybe
but
we'll
that
link
is
our body
true.
image. We should link our body image one in this. podcast as
Yeah.
well, because we have a whole one on, where we both talk about our experiences with body image. And, I'm bringing this up because I'm just being honest. Like, I've come so far and I'm not doing anything like about it, in the sense of like, I'm not limiting what I'm eating. I'm not doing any of the things I used to do. I'm just kind of letting myself move through it. So I'm moving through it
Mhm.
in a very healthy way, but it is coming up for me a little bit at this time. So just in
Mhm.
acknowledging that, also knowing around this time of year, that probably comes up for a lot of people. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's why
it's
I just
so
wanted to,
normal.
yeah, I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, it's so normal and so natural. It's an everyday choice. It's an
Mhm.
everyday choice, especially if it's something that you've really struggled with. Like over time, you do change the wiring of your mind, those neural pathways when you are truly healing. But of course, those sneaky thoughts come in. Like it's natural, it's normal, it's how you deal with it that shows your growth and the change. It's just being so compassionate with yourself.
Mhm.
And yeah, like you said, thin does not equal healthy. Like just to say something really quick, when I was at my thinnest, I was doing such unhealthy things too. I wasn't eating and I was over exercising so much. Like I needed to gain weight in order to be healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, thin, a lot of the people that we see out here, the models, the actors, the influencer culture, like not to dive too much deeper into this, but
Mhm.
oh, the influencer culture is so dangerous too. And most of those people are lying about what they're doing, or they also have eating disorders that they are not open with, or doing
Mhm.
very unhealthy things to attain their bodies. And we look up to these people. It's who we're
Yeah.
seeing, and their lives look so cool, and we want to be like them. So just know that social media is fake most of the time. And yeah, you just because you're thin does not mean you're healthy at all. It's
Mhm.
like when you sit at your like that healthy weight where like you feel good in your body, like you have energy, like energy, you know?
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
100%. It's like it's a distortion, right? A distorted perception that a lot of us have built within us, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure we both can go on and on and on about this, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I feel like a fun thing to do
okay.
real quick.
Are we both wearing
So
white pants? Wait.
I have like they're like a little gray
Oh, okay.
that
They look white in my screen. I'm like, look at us.
yeah.
I got the green sweater. She's got the red sweater. So
Yeah.
perfectly in coordination with the light pants. Ah, yin and
Yes.
yang. We love it. Anyway, sorry.
Love
What's
it.
fun?
So I'm thinking, why don't you while we're reflecting on this year, maybe like what was the highlight of your year? Like what was the best thing that happened to you this year that you feel?
Oh, man. I might need a second to like sit with that. There were so many beautiful moments this year, right? I could easily talk about, Peru, for example, was a highlight. I mean, that was also tough because there was deep healing work that came with that. But Peru was a highlight. Europe was a highlight. Moving was a highlight. So, those are, creating my course was a highlight. So there's like boom, 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 some highlights right there. But I want to think a little deeper about this. So hold on.
One that is coming to mind that both of us will probably resonate with
Mhm.
is we hosted our first
Oh,
retreat,
yes.
which
And
was
the Virginia. Woo!
yeah,
Yes. That's enough.
that was
Oh my
that was a
God.
big moment, I feel,
Oh
and,
my
like, I
God.
loved the women that came, like, that was a big high that's, like, crazy to think that that was this
Well,
year. I
no,
don't know why it feels
no,
so far away.
exactly. I feel like that's why it didn't come to my mind. I was like, wait, that was literally this year. I think I just
Yeah,
made a post actually about celebrating, yesterday or 2 days ago, about celebrating certain moments, and that was one of the I had a video of all of us in the
yeah.
slide. Um,
That was so fun. That was so beautiful, and I
yeah,
feel like really big milestone for both of us in a way of stepping more into our
totally.
leadership, and then also being so I feel like so divinely connected with those women, and they supported us in being able to step into that space and trusted us, and we learned from them and they learned from us, and
Mhm,
it was just such a beautiful it taught me really the power of community, in-person community, and
mhm.
I will never forget that. That is just
Yeah.
such a highlight that I'm like,
uh
I it makes me wanna do more in-person stuff because there's just so
Yeah.
much power in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I can't help but smile when I think about it. Yeah, no, that was also, like, up there.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's like I can't just pick one, right? They're all beautiful for different reasons. My mind is going kind of, I don't even wanna say deeper, but I'm kind of seeing what wants to come through that's not necessarily a physical thing, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
But I really feel, for me this past year, everything I listed, the retreat is a huge one, but deeper than that, just stepping deeper into, like, who I am. I feel like, I don't know, something within me really came alive this year in a way I didn't know needed to come alive,
Mhm.
and I just anyways, it was there's, there's so many. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know. I can't pick one.
Yeah, I feel you. There's I mean, so much that happened this year. I mean, it's a year, so a lot
Yeah.
happens. Um, but I feel that too. I feel like the main thing that sticks out to me too is the retreat also moving to Santa Cruz and like really being settled
Mhm.
in a space where Eric and I genuinely love. Like we love it here. And that was at the beginning of this year that
Mhm.
we moved from San Francisco to Santa Cruz. And that just felt like very necessary. And I'm just so grateful for that move.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, coming more home to myself and my voice in a way that I never have before. Like,
Mhm.
I genuinely feel like, Trump got into presidency in January 2025. And ever since that day, something has been ignited in me that wasn't there prior. Like something about really like being an activist, using my voice for positive change, the injustices, finding my voice and speaking out about my abortion was really huge for me, even though that was really difficult.
Mhm.
I just think so much of this year was pushing our edges to
Mhm.
come into the women we were meant to be and
Yeah.
really
Oh,
find our
yes.
voices and our
Woo!
power. And
Yeah.
yeah, like really big year, total, like I mentioned in the beginning, so different than what I ever envisioned.
Yeah.
I never thought I would share my abortion story publicly. Like I
Yeah.
felt like maybe like I would in little community settings and that kind of stuff, but that was yeah, like and that was a lot to move through. So much to move through.
Mhm.
Um especially growing up Catholic and sharing with different people and responses and really having to trust myself in what I feel is
Mhm.
true. But yeah, I feel like just stepping really into our voices, my voice and my power, and like really trusting myself and knowing who I am on a
Yeah.
deeper level. So yeah, but
Yeah.
it came with a lot of challenges, but like beauty, so much beauty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was so much beauty, but yeah, when you said burning our edges, that's why I was like, "Woo!" I like, yes, like my edges were challenged very like in
Yeah.
multiple ways and just reflecting. So we are going to take a quick break so that I can tell you guys about my 21-week mentorship. Woo! I'm super excited to announce that my mentorship is officially open for registration. The mentorship starts January 14th and runs through until June 10th. There will be 20 group calls, and it also gives you full access to my 20-week program. The program is going to be the core of the mentorship. We are going to go through that as a group. I am keeping the group small. I am only taking 2 groups and capping it at 12. So as soon as we hit 12, we are not taking any more people. And it is essentially for those of you who are ready to take it to the next level, who are in the in between. You know that you're not going back to where you were, but you're not quite sure exactly where you're going. It's a program designed to help you sharpen the tools that you already have so that you can take aligned action to get you to wherever your soul is guiding you. It's all about reconnecting to yourself, reconnecting to your inner voice, strengthening the trust within yourself so that you can trust yourself enough to take action, to take aligned action. It's in a container where there will be community. And yeah, I'm super excited to announce it. So it's officially open. For more information, you can check out the link in the show notes, or if you head over to my social medias, you can find it all linked there as well. And for those of you who are seriously considering the mentorship, I am opening up 15 to 20-minute free consultation calls so that you can get a better idea on whether or not this program feels aligned for you. So if you are seriously considering the mentorship, you have read through the description and everything, and you are interested in a call, shoot me a message through my website and just let me know you are interested in a consultation call. I will then send you a link to book. And yeah, I'm super excited. It really is saying yes to transformation. It is saying yes to transformation. It is going to require time and energy to oneself. It's going to require you to really devote time to yourself. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there, short and sweet, and let's get back to the episode. I went through not like an official, so, I was seeing someone on and off for almost a year last year. It was very on and off, let me say that. So it was nothing like locked in or serious, but um that was a really really hard ending, and we ended things on not January, on December 30th, the day before New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember just reflecting on the last year. So for those of you who watch my YouTube, I did a YouTube video talking about past lives. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the detail, but I know I had a past soul tie with this person basically. So that ending was really really hard for me, even though we were never official. So I just remember spending New Year's Eve alone because we ended things the day before New Year's Eve. I spent New Year's Eve alone, heading into the new year completely heartbroken. And
Mhm.
just reflecting on that just kind of makes me, a little emotional. And just sitting here now thinking, like, whoa, thinking how far I've come. And that's just like one example. This year was definitely challenging for more than one reason. But it's like, yeah, last year I was entering the year. This past year, I was entering the year completely shattered. And I'm
Mhm.
sitting here, I just feel so much stronger, so much more sure of myself. I just so many things I could say. But yeah, that's coming
Mhm.
to mind as well. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy year it's been. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't believe it. It's so nutty. Yeah. Well, do we wanna do, like, a little
Reading?
collective reading for the listeners to see if they're
Sure.
I know we did this last year. Brittany will pull a couple cards, and then I'll see if I feel anything as she's doing it too, but maybe just, like yeah, the last reading we did for going into the new year, yeah, it was more around it was gonna be a lot of crumbling for a lot of people, which it was for sure. It was a hard year for people,
I'm just
myself included, but beauty in it as well. It's all necessary.
okay. So I'm just gonna center, tune into the energy. And please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You don't need a tarot reading, obviously, to tell you your future. Just think of this as a nice little fun prediction or possibility. Spirit, what wants to come forward for this collective for the year of 2026, stepping into 2026? What are the messages that want to come through? What is it that we need to know to help guide and to help support us here today? Okay. Okay, you guys.
Probably like the Tower of the Devil, the Deceit card, all the heavy energy.
All the heavy energy. No. Okay, let's talk about this. So, I am going to be honest, as I always am. The tower didn't come out this time, but we do have a lot of heavy cards that came that came out. So we have the 10 of wands that came out first. I'm going to say the cards, so some of you may know the cards, some of you may not know the cards. If you don't know the cards, I'm going to explain it, the energy anyways. But for those of you who do know and are curious, 10 of wands came out, the 10 of swords came out. And I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I'm just like, oh man. Anyways, 10 of wands,
Yeah.
10 of swords, the hanged man, the king of swords, 6 of cups, 7 of pentacles, 7 of cups, death, 3 of cups, 5 of cups, the hierophant, and temperance. So tuning into this energy, it does. One thing that I heard right away is processing grief. There's an energy of processing grief in 2026 that feels people are going to be moving through a lot of grief. And this doesn't mean past, like, there's so many different forms of grief. I want to make that very clear. There's so many different forms of grief. Like, as we evolve into a new person, grief comes with that because we're grieving the old version of ourselves. So when I say grief, don't get freaked out. It doesn't mean somebody in your family is going to pass away. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously life is life, right? I just want to make that clear when I say grief. But grief feels like an overarching theme, if I'm being honest. 5 of cups at the bottom of the deck is about loss. It's about sadness. It's about letting go. So there's an energy here of, and it seems intense, but honestly feels very, very beautiful because I'm seeing a metamorphosis in my mind's eye. I'm seeing like a caterpillar. The caterpillar has to go into its cocoon, right? And it literally liquefies before it transforms into the butterfly. It has to let go of that old identity, the entire old identity. And that is a painful process, right? So there is an energy of grief and processing grief. I'm seeing like people moving through a lot of energy. So it feels like a lot is going to want to come through, a lot is going to be moved through. And it feels like with the hanged man coming through, and I don't mean this in a bad, this is not to discourage anybody. It feels like 2026 might feel like a hanged period for people. So, on your outside world, it might not look like much is happening, but don't get it twisted. It feels like there's a lot that's happening internally in 2026. Now, that's the key to change is the internal shift, is the internal metamorphosis, because your outside world cannot shift until your inner world shifts first, right? Because it's the inner first, then you will see that mirrored outside of you. And often these shifts and changes take a lot longer than we want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, like my journey, it's like years of change and metamorphosis. It's not like, we talked about last year, like the crumbling. Okay, there's another. Okay, hold on. So last year was the tower, the crumbling. This year feels
Mhm.
like the processing of the grief. It's like
Mhm.
first you lose something in your life. I'm just going to use this as like an example, right? I'm going to use a death as an example. Again, this is not me saying it's that kind of grief, making that clear. I'm not scaring anybody, but this is a good example. Let's say somebody in your life passes. That's the crumbling. Oh my God, what is going on? And the initial shock. Then comes the processing of that grief. This year feels like the processing of that grief, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, Ooh, and I just have full chills as I'm saying that. Another example analogy that I want to use. If you know the story of Moses in the Bible, and this is not me talking about it in a religious way, so keep an open mind if you're not into religion. But the story of Moses, I love the story of Moses because he went to go free. He was chosen by God to free the Israelites, right? Am I saying that right? To
Sure.
free to free a group of slaves. I think it was the Israelites to go free them from Pharaoh, who had them in Egypt under his reign, and they were being used as slaves. So Moses went to go free them, and that was a struggle in and of itself to free the Israelites because Pharaoh obviously didn't just let the slaves go. So there was a whole thing beforehand. Anyways, fast forward without getting into the nitty-gritty of the details, Moses frees the slaves, and they've been in slavery for years. This group of people have been enslaved for years upon years upon years upon years. So they're thinking, oh, we're finally free. We finally made it out. But really, that was only the beginning of their journey, because now they had to follow Moses to the promised land, but it's not like they were freed from slavery and then entered the promised land the next day. They entered slavery only to be in the desert for 40 years before they were actually able to enter the promised land. First, it's like freeing yourself from a system. Then it's doing the healing work to actually be worthy of the promised land. Does that make sense? I love,
Mhm.
I don't feel like I want to do an actual whole video on the story of Moses, because there's just the messaging behind it is so beautiful. Not just like a little blurb of it, but basically this feels like a continuation almost of last year for a lot of you. It feels like going back to the processing of grief. Maybe last year was the crumbling, this year is the processing. And there's also an energy of stepping into truth, stepping into alignment with the King of Swords coming out, stepping into authenticity. As you process the parts of you that are not true to you, as you grieve the old versions of you, you're stripping away the old. Yes, there's sadness that comes with that, and a lot of emotions that maybe you need to move through that come with that. But also, what comes with that is alignment and stepping into truth. So, even again, not trying to scare you, even though it might feel heavy in certain ways, energetically you are expanding and stepping into more truth and more alignment. It's actually a very beautiful energy. Also noticing, it's funny, I was talking about metamorphosis, the King of Swords has butterflies like on the image.
Mhm.
Just noticing that now, actually, and I think this is the only card in the deck that has photos of butterflies on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's the only card that has butterflies on it. So I love that imagery there. And, with the Six of Cups, the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, for some of you, this might feel like a year of not having all the answers yet. So don't seek the answers. Don't search for all of the answers. Focus on you. Focus on the present moment. You're not supposed to have all of the answers right away. It's like, where am I supposed to go? What is all of this for? There might be some lack of clarity this next year, not necessarily knowing exactly where you're going yet, not seeing the full picture. Know that that's okay. Is something that I want to say. You're not meant to have the full picture, because first, as Holly and I were talking about before, it's like sometimes we need to, no, oftentimes before we could really go out and have our mission and like help in this world, we need to make sure we're prepared first. We need to focus on yourself first. So even if you don't have that clear direction, don't stress about it. Know that you're right where you're supposed to be, if that makes sense. So I just feel called to say that too. So don't try to force outcomes. Don't try to control. You get what you get what I'm saying. Because this is a year of watering the garden and watering the seeds. Maybe not yet seeing all of the fruits of your labor quite yet, um, but it's a year of planting the seeds, nurturing the garden, tending to the garden. Okay, death coming out. This kind of talks about what I was saying. It's like death of the old. And that's really what it feels like. It's like saying goodbye to the old, whatever that may look like for you, to make space for the new version of you that is emerging here. We do have the Three of Cups, which is about community and celebration. So I also want to say too, like for some of you, this could be, oh, I have chills, finding more of your community this year. Ooh, we love it. Aligning with more souls that are also on this path. I know when Holly and I aligned, I was really deep in. I feel like when Holly and I aligned, like the energy I'm reading now was the energy I was in at the time. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Mhm.
And that's really the year I really started aligning with people who our soul family, for lack of better word. So I see that for you guys too, which is exciting. So you could be
Right?
meeting some important people this year. And that might look different for different people. For some of you, that might come in different forms. It might come in the form of a teacher, a mentor. It might come in the form of a friendship. It might come in the form of a partner. Okay. But I'm seeing community. Community feels like a theme as well, like real community. Okay. So we love that. It's not all dark and gloomy. Okay. Something to look forward to. And I do see beautiful moments here with that. So there are beautiful moments with that I want to reference as well. So it's not all dark and gloomy. Don't worry. And then with temperance and the Hierophant, the Hierophant is higher level learning. This is going to be a year of deep learning, which is beautiful, which will help you ascend, for lack of a better word, raise your frequency, higher level learning, like stepping into that new version. And temperance, it's, peace, balance, finding that peace and balance from within you, right? But that doesn't happen overnight. How does that happen is going through everything I was just talking about. So yeah, and now splitting the deck to the moon, which is about the shadow, facing the shadow within you. But then the star underneath that is about hope. It's about alignment. It's about the stars are aligning. So just trust the process, trust the journey. Don't get afraid by this reading. I'm just always very honest. I'm not, I'm just, yeah, always very honest with the energy. And that feels like that's what the theme is going to be. So I don't know if Holly wants to add anything, but
Yeah, and you do have to move through the density to get to the light, but
yeah.
it's just like you said, there's beautiful moments. It's like duality. Two things can be true. You can be moving through such deep grief, but then also have the beauty that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like so many people are stripping away the masks that they have created to survive up until this point. Now you're realizing that you want to be more authentic. You're learning, like, oh, healing is possible. It's safe for me to take off these masks that I didn't even know that I was wearing.
Yeah.
So it's like with getting rid of those masks comes with, yeah, grieving of the old self. And maybe you had to let go of a relationship, or you've had to create boundaries, or there's just been a crumbling of some sort. Like, I just feel like a lot of people either broke up this year or it brought people closer, or maybe there was a tower moment that happened in your relationship, like your partner shared something with you that you were like, oh my God, I didn't know that you did that. And it's kind of like you guys are still together, but moving through that. It's a big, big thing to move through that. So it's just riding the waves, but know that all of the darkness that you are going to go through, that grief that you're going to feel, it's necessary. It's
Mm-hmm.
necessary to reach the level of freedom that you're wanting, to reach that level of authenticity, and to really plant those seeds that are true and authentic to you, not just what you were taught, not just what society wants of you, like actually planting seeds that are true for you
Mm-hmm.
so you can live your life for you, not for other people. And yeah, it just feels like so much of the illusion, so much of things that are not rooted in truth need to die. They need
Mm-hmm.
to die so we can find the truth. Like, I feel like a lot of you listening are probably truth seekers. Like, that there's something more out there. That things don't quite feel right, and you're like seeking for that truth. Follow that. Trust your heart. Follow where you're being called, and just know that you're not alone. Like, so many people are moving through these things. Like, so many people have come here to break generational trauma, generational patterns for their families. And I'm sure you're one of them if you're listening. And it's heavy. It can be
Mm-hmm.
really heavy, but there's so much fulfillment, and it's an honor to do this work. And just know, yeah, you're not alone. You are not alone. Yeah. And finding that community is going to be really supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the community piece to come in too, because I know, like, for me and my journey, there was a point where I'm like, I'm never going to find anybody that's like me. You know what I mean? It feels very isolating, especially at the beginning, especially when you're the only one that's really starting to see things in certain ways, right? But it takes alignment, because as you shift, you then align with the people that also see things the same way and are on the same path that you are. So that was so it's such a blessing, and it's just, I'm excited for that piece to really start coming together for
Yeah.
people, because it's necessary. Yeah.
Yeah. And as you like step more into like genuinely show who you really are, that's
Mhm.
when your people are going to find you, because so many of us, again, we have those masks and we're portraying false senses of self online. And when we go out, we just want to fit in, we want to be liked. And that's not true to you. It's like you are here to stand out. You are here to be different, to show people a different way, to come more home to who you are and your authenticity, and start feeling your way through life instead of thinking your way through life, and be the example for other people. And when you do that, when you really start showing up as yourself, like other people will see your light, like light sees light. So
Mhm.
letting your light shine so your people can find you, even though it can be really scary. And that's where nurturing your inner child and inner teenager is really necessary.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I
Okay.
love that. Well, yeah, heavy but necessary. All of this is
Yes.
so necessary. It just really is.
It's
These next couple years, I think, are going to be
yeah,
that.
it's all a part of it, right? It's all a part of it, and you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. But
Mhm.
yeah, thank you so much for listening to our Christmas special. Woo!
Woo! Yes, and we hope you guys have a beautiful new year. If we'll
Yes.
see you in the new year, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll see you all in the new year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes. All right. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye. As we wrap up today's episode, we want to extend our deepest gratitude for joining us on this journey. Your support does not go unnoticed. If you enjoyed this episode and find value in our conversations, please take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback not only helps us grow, but also allows us to reach more people who can benefit from our community of healing and support. Every review, every rating makes a difference. Thank you for being a part of the Multiple Truths podcast family. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Multiple Truths podcast. Keep speaking your truth and spreading your light. We love you, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.